Have you ever looked around at the world and thought, this can be real? That feeling you get when something is just too perfect, too strange, or too coincidental? Well, what if I told you that feeling might be right? What if our entire reality, everything you see, feel, and know, is actually a sophisticated computer simulation? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But this idea, known as the simulation hypothesis, is a serious topic debated by some of the brightest minds in philosophy and physics. Think about it. Look at the progress of video games. A few decades ago, we had simple pixelated blocks in games like Pong. Now, we have photorealistic, open-world environments with complex AI characters. The level of detail is staggering. If we assume that technological progress continues, it's not a huge leap to imagine that in the future, a civilization could create simulations of their ancestors that are so detailed the simulated beings inside wouldn't even know they were in a simulation. They would have consciousness, feelings, and memories, all generated by lines of code. Philosopher Nick Bostrom from Oxford University put forward a compelling argument. He said that one of three things must be true. Either civilizations go extinct before reaching a post-human stage capable of running such simulations, or they lose interest in creating them. Or we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. Why the last one? Because if even one civilization in the history of the universe reaches this technological maturity and decides to run ancestor simulations, they wouldn't just run one. They would run thousands, maybe billions of them. For every single base reality, there would be countless simulated realities. So, statistically speaking, the odds are overwhelmingly in favor of us being in one of those simulations rather than the one original base reality. It's just a numbers game. Even some of our most brilliant scientists have flirted with this idea. They point to clues within our own universe that might suggest a digital underpinning. For example, quantum mechanics, the set of rules that governs the universe at the smallest scales, is weird. Particles don't have definite properties until they're observed. It's almost as if the universe doesn't bother rendering the details until someone is looking. Just like a video game engine saves processing power by only rendering what is in the player's field of view. Physicist James Gates even found what looks like computer code, specifically error-correcting codes embedded in the equations of supersymmetry that describe the fundamental nature of our universe. Could this be the code of our matrix? Furthermore, there seems to be a pixel size to our universe, a fundamental limit to how small things can get, known as the Planck length. Just like a digital image, our reality might be made up of tiny indivisible units. It's not a smooth, continuous picture, but a high-resolution grid. Okay, let's pause for a second. This can be a heavy concept to wrap your head around. The idea that your life, your memories, your loves, your struggles are all just part of a program can feel, well, a little disheartening. It might make you think, does anything I do even matter? And here's where I want to flip the script. What if living in a simulation isn't a bad thing at all? In fact, what if it's actually an incredibly hopeful and empowering idea? First, let's address the big question. Does life lose its meaning? Absolutely not. Your feelings are real to you. The love you have for your family, the joy you get from your hobbies, the sadness you feel when things go wrong, those are all part of your conscious experience. Whether that experience is generated by a biological brain in a base reality, or by a sophisticated computational process doesn't make the experience itself any less valid. A simulated tear is still a tear. The pain is real, but so is the happiness. Your choices still have consequences within this reality. Being kind to someone still makes their day better within the simulation. Achieving a personal goal still brings you a sense of accomplishment. The rules of this reality, whatever their origin, are the rules we have to play by. So, the meaning of your life isn't given to you by the programmers. It's something you create for yourself right here, right now, within the confines of this beautiful, complex world. Think of it this way. The simulation isn't a prison. It's a playground. It's a structured environment designed for experience and, perhaps, for growth. If we are in a simulation, it was likely created for a purpose. Maybe it's a historical study, an entertainment program, or a training ground for artificial intelligence. Whatever the reason, we are the protagonists of this incredible story. We have the chance to experience life, to learn, to create, and to connect with others. That's an amazing opportunity, regardless of the underlying mechanics of it all. This perspective can actually be incredibly freeing. Worried about death? If this is a simulation, then maybe death isn't the end. It could be the end of the program, a game over screen, or maybe you just get rebooted into a new life, a new scenario. It transforms the scariest unknown into a potential transition. It doesn't mean we should be reckless. Of course, the goal is still to have the best and longest run you can, but it can take some of the existential dread off the table. It also changes how we view our limitations, feeling stuck, frustrated with the rules of the universe. Well, if they're programmed rules, maybe there are cheat codes, maybe there are glitches. This isn't to say you should try to walk through walls, but it encourages a mindset of curiosity and exploration. Pushing the boundaries of science, art, and human potential could be seen as us testing the limits of the simulation's code, trying to see what's possible. Every scientific discovery, every masterpiece of art, is us exploring the depth and richness of the program we're in. And here's a really beautiful thought. If we are in a simulation, who created it? Our programmers would be beings of incredible intelligence and capability. And they chose to create a universe that contains consciousness, that contains life, love, art, and music. That suggests our creators might not be cold, indifferent beings. They might be researchers, artists, or even just curious souls who value the very things that we value most. The existence of beauty and joy in our world could be a deliberate feature, a sign that our simulated reality is a benevolent one. So the next time you see a breathtaking sunset, or share a laugh with a friend, or feel a sense of profound wonder at the universe, don't let the thought that it might be a simulation cheapen the moment. Instead, let it enhance it. Appreciate the incredible detail, the sheer artistry of it all. Think of it as a gift, a beautifully crafted experience that you get to be a part of. The simulation hypothesis doesn't take away our meaning. It reframes it. It tells us that our reality is an incredible piece of art, and we are the ones living inside it. Our purpose is simply to live, to experience, to learn, and to appreciate the masterpiece we're in. It encourages us to be more curious, less afraid, and more engaged with the world around us. So, is it all a simulation? Maybe. Is that a bad thing? Not at all. It might just be the most interesting thing in the world. Thanks so much for exploring this mind-bending idea with me today. If you enjoyed this journey down the rabbit hole, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that questions the nature of our reality. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're living in a simulation? And if so, what would you do differently? Until next time, keep questioning everything.